All right, let's just jump right in, shall we? We're going to tackle one of the biggest questions out there right now. Is AI here to save us, or is it basically the ultimate surveillance machine? To get to the bottom of this, we're going to peek behind the curtain at the companies building this stuff and see what's really pushing them forward.
I mean, that question really just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the core tension of this whole AI boom. On one side, you've got this promise of amazing transformation, and on the other, the cold, hard reality of Silicon Valley's business model. It's this constant tug of war between progress and profit, and it is happening as we speak.
So, to really get a handle on this whole thing, we need to go straight to the source. Let's look inside the two companies that are basically ground zero for this entire revolution. OpenAI, the folks behind ChatGPT, and their biggest backer, Microsoft.
And what's fascinating is that both of these giants are, well, they're kind of at war with themselves. You've got OpenAI, which started with this noble mission of building safe AI for everyone. But now, they're under this insane pressure to actually make money and stay ahead of the curve. Then there's Microsoft. They want to create this incredible AI assistant that helps you with everything. But to make that happen, they have to walk through this absolute minefield of privacy issues.
And a big part of that pressure at OpenAI, well, it comes down to who they're hiring. Get this, about 20% of their staff now comes from Meta, and that's got people inside the company worried. They're seeing a shift towards that classic growth at all costs mentality, the kind that obsesses over user engagement and forgets about the whole let's build this thing safely part of the mission.
Meanwhile, over at Microsoft, they're all in on this idea of an ambient assistant. Think of their AI copilot as this digital shadow that's always there, always learning about you, and even getting things done for you before you even think to ask. Like, imagine it pulling together all the notes you need for a meeting without you lifting a finger. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the catch, a really big one. For it to work, you have to give it the keys to your entire digital kingdom. We're talking emails, chats, documents, everything. It's a massive, massive bet that you'll trust them with it all.
Okay, so we've seen the internal struggles inside these companies, but what about the bigger picture? What are the massive kind of hidden forces that are pushing this whole race forward at such a breakneck speed? What's the fuel in this engine?
Well, it turns out, if you strip everything else away, this entire AI revolution is built on just 3 pillars. Think of them as the legs of a stool. And here's the kicker. Each one of these pillars isn't just a technical challenge to overcome, it's also a huge ethical can of worms.
So, pillar number 1 is memory. And look, on the surface, it's great, right? An AI that remembers what you talked about last week can be super helpful. But then you think about it, it's also creating a perfect, searchable, permanent record of, well, you. Every idea, every fear, every dumb question you've ever asked. It's basically the holy grail for surveillance capitalism, a tool that could be used to target and manipulate us in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, pillar number 2, compute. This is the raw horsepower needed to run these giant AI models. And this is where things get wild. You're looking at a massive bottleneck. One company, NVIDIA, controls a mind-boggling 95% of the market for AI chips. 95%. That means a single corporation basically has the power to play kingmaker, deciding who gets to build the future of AI and who gets left in the dust.
And the third pillar is talent. The people, the brains behind all this. It's an all-out war for the smartest minds. Big tech companies are throwing around salaries in the millions, and universities just can't keep up. The result? A massive brain drain, with the best researchers getting poached from academia and brought into corporations. And that's a huge deal, because it means the future of AI is being shaped by what's profitable, not necessarily what's good for all of us.
So you've got these huge corporate battles, these massive technical forces, but what does any of this actually mean for you and me in our daily lives? Well, the truth is, the impact is already happening, and it's weirder and more widespread than you probably think. Yeah, this isn't some far-off future stuff. AI is here now. It's getting used in some incredibly intimate ways, like helping to screen IVF embryos to check for disease risks. It's also becoming a go-to tool for pros, like doctors who are using special AIs to help with diagnoses. And those humanoid robots you've seen in sci-fi movies, they're already leaving the lab and showing up in warehouses, and soon, maybe even our homes. But hey, it's not all about robots and futuristic medicine. AI is also quietly changing the game in the, let's call them, less glamorous parts of the business world. And the amount of money at stake here is just staggering. Let's look at a quick story of 2 huge companies, Procter & Gamble and Nestle. Both had the same giant problem.
They needed to modernize their massive, sprawling supply chains. Nestle went the old-school route. It took them over 13 years. But P&G, they went all in on an AI-first strategy. They got the whole job done in just 2 years. And they got their money back twice as fast. That right there is the power we're talking about.
And here's the bottom line. P&G's smarter, AI-powered approach, it saved them more than $500 million every single year. This is the proof that AI isn't just about cool chatbots. It is a fundamental tool that is completely reshaping how business gets done.
So all this stuff we've been talking about, the race for profits, the cool new gadgets, the corporate power plays, it's all hurtling towards one final destination. One really big, kind of scary, mind-bending goal: to create something that is smarter than we are.
Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, we need to get 2 key acronyms straight. First up is AGI, which stands for Artificial General Intelligence. This isn't the AI we have now, which is good at one specific task. AGI would be like us. It could reason, learn, and solve problems in pretty much any area. And then there's the next step, ASI, or Artificial Superintelligence. That's the one that's vastly, incomprehensibly smarter than any human or even all of us put together.
And here's where it gets really wild. The theory is called the intelligence explosion. The idea is, the second we successfully build an AGI, it's going to start rewriting its own programming to make itself smarter. And that smarter version will do it again, but faster. It's this runaway feedback loop, like a snowball rolling downhill, that could go from human-level intelligence to godlike superintelligence in, who knows, weeks, days, maybe even hours.
Look, with all these huge, powerful forces in play, it is so easy to feel like we're just along for the ride, with no control whatsoever. But here's the thing. The most important tool we have for navigating this new reality isn't some fancy tech. It's actually a very, very human skill.
And that skill is simply asking the right questions. You don't need to be a coder or an AI researcher. You just need to get curious, understand the basics of what these tools are, how they're being built, and what the trade-offs are. Because once you have that foundation, you can start to engage with it all on your own terms, smartly, critically, and ethically.
Which, brings us right back to where we started. This technology, it's not good or bad. It's just a tool, a really, really powerful one. The future it builds won't be defined by the code, but by the choices we make. The choices you make, the choices companies make, the choices all of us make together. Those decisions will determine whether we get the salvation or the surveillance. So the real question is, which one are we going to build?